Hello, everyone. Welcome to week 8. I hope you have been working diligently on your rough draft. At this point, I have met with almost every single one of you for the student writing conferences. If I have not met with you, I have it scheduled to meet with you, and it is very important that you go to week 8 for the student teacher conference notes right here. Fill out this short little paragraph assignment, following the instructions, once again putting your paper in MLA format, and submit it, and you get your 10 points for this assignment. Going back, you have a quiz on sentence fragments. Please read over this information right here on sentence fragments, what they are, how to fix them, and then take the quiz. And as always, just as like all the other grammar and other mechanical quizzes, to please make sure you're applying them in your writing, because as you learn them, you want to apply them so that it sticks further, and it also helps improve your writing overall. You also have the rough draft of your essay due on Wednesday. This is my time, 10:59 Pacific Standard Time, but it's actually Wednesday, November 3rd. So looking at the calendar here, November 3rd is Wednesday right here, and due by 11:59 Mountain Standard Time. That is the BYU Idaho time. So whatever that translates to your time period is what you need to translate that to. So making sure that you have followed all the instructions for part 2 of this essay. Please go back, review those instructions from week 5, or you can go to the announcements, week 7 announcements. I have everything linked there. You can also look at the rubric, making sure you're going over all the modules from the past weeks, that you are incorporating the things you have learned for part 2 of this essay. I talked with each one of you in the writing conferences and stressed the importance of doing that, and I really hope you're taking that time. This particular portion of the essay is 100 points for the final draft, which is a big portion of your grade, so you really want to take this seriously. Using your outline as a guide, write the draft for part 2. I already met with you for your positions paper and also for your outline and gave you feedback on that. You will submit your draft here by Wednesday. After Friday, once everybody submits their rough drafts, then the computer will automatically generate peer reviews, and you're going to peer review a student's paper. In this peer review, you need to be very specific. This is to help that student. You are the one who is evaluating their paper for the aspects and the rubric and on the peer review paper, which I'll go over here in just a minute. Please take this seriously. If I say things like good job or you did well or I'm going to put this in my paper, that is not helping your peer, and it does need to be very specific. Did they have their positions laid out nicely? Did it transition from one paragraph to another or one position to another or into the synthesis? Did they synthesize the different positions using the resources that they utilized in the paper? Do they have a good introduction with a neutral thesis? Because part 2 is not about the argument. Part 2 is going into the positions as if you were sitting at a table just listening to the conversation. Does it have a good concluding paragraph that wraps up the whole essay and leads you into part 3 where the argument will take place? So being very specific in your feedback is beneficial. You also must turn in your rough draft on time in order to have the computer generate a peer to look at your paper. If you do not submit it on time, you will not have your paper peer reviewed, because the computer does it all on its own. Moving, I think I just went the wrong direction. I did. This is actually very good. Please make sure you do not plagiarize on your paper. This was the quiz in last week's module. Making sure you do not plagiarize. Plagiarism is a very serious academic offense. It is stealing someone's ideas or someone's work and claiming them as your own. It's as if you walk into the store, steal a candy bar, walk out, and you're eating it. Please do not do that in your paper. Make sure you cite all your paraphrases, your summarizations, and direct quotes. When in doubt, cite it using the Al Purdue website to make sure that you're doing it correctly. Here is where you're going to submit the rough draft peer review submission to me. But this is also where all the instructions are. I will link this in the week 7 or week 8 overview as well. You have the essay rough draft peer overview, which will take you back to that assignment. How do I submit a peer review assignment? This is very important to go over. It's very similar to what you did in part 1, making sure that you follow these. Some students in part 1 did not follow these instructions, and other students did not get their paper back to write their final draft on. Also, you have the peer review worksheet that you will download. You will fill it out. Again, making sure you do MLA heading. Put your name, my name, the class name, English 150, and then the date along with your last name and page number up here. Want to keep practicing that MLA format. And then again, going through and answering these questions very thoroughly, making sure that you highlight one of these so that your peer knows how well they did on that part. So we have transitions, frames for source material, clarity, is it clear? Does it flow well? Is there a clear thesis? So on and so forth. Analysis and synthesis of sources. Many questions there. MLA formatting, grammar, punctuation formatting, and then encouragement and advice. Please make sure that you fill this out thoroughly. Re-upload it into the assignment so that your peer in 2 places, so that your peer can see it and I can see it as well to grade you on this. Then you're going to submit your peer review again twice. Your classmate by going back to this assignment that I already showed you. Also, please make sure you add a comment in the box so that the student knows that you've turned it back into them. They will not know that you turn it back in unless you turn in a comment. It could be as simple as, here you go, here's your paper, whatever the case may be. You must make a comment to the classmate to see your feedback. Then you will click Attach File, upload your peer review worksheet, send the feedback to your classmate, refer to How do I submit a peer review assignment tutorial, and then you're going to submit it here as well to where I can see it. Here is the rubric that you will be graded on. Please make sure once you turn everything in that you do your reflection. Many of you missed this in part 1. So please make sure you do your short reflection, at least 2 examples of what you can improve in your own paper. Once you get this back on Friday, by Friday, you will be able to look at the peer review from your peer. Again, it is 50 points, so you do want to take this seriously. I will be grading this a little bit harder than I did part 1. Then you'll be able to look it over and you will be able to make the necessary changes and revisions that you need to do for your final draft. And I just want to show that final draft is due on November 8th. November 8th is a Monday right here, November 8th. And it is due by 11:59 Mountain Standard Time. It is 100 points. You have your rubric here on how you'll be graded. Please review the rubric. And if you have any questions, please ask ahead of time so that I can help you. I'm willing to do a Zoom with you to look at a certain section of the paper. I will not read your whole rough draft. That is part of the peer review. That's why it is important for your peers to and yourself to make sure that you are doing that review as thoroughly as possible, being as helpful in the review process as possible as well. Again, I can do a short Zoom with you if you need help on a certain section of your paper. You also have the online writing lab that you can submit your paper to through BYU Idaho. I encourage you to do so to get additional help. When you do that, please submit also the overview of part 2 from week 5 so they understand what the assignment is about. And other than that, please ask questions in the announcements. I look forward to reading your final drafts, and please continue to work hard. You guys are doing great. We are in the second half of the semester. After this, we will go into part 3 and then into a personal essay before we wrap up the semester. So have a great week, and I will be chatting with you either through Canvas email or through the announcements. Talk to you later.